I haven't seen this video from this channel in a long time. When gamers get caught cheating. Yeah, I saved this one, so I'm kind of curious to see if there what other new cheating things has happened the past couple of years. It's been a while, you know. It's a good channel, to be honest. It's from time to time it pops up, you know. Not all the time.
From the most infamous speedrunner of all time to the incredible antics of Clara.
Oh,
Clara,
I
give me
remember
one
her.
second.
Buckle up for a brand new installment of Gamers Caught Cheating.
Freeze, punk!
Oh, is this Yu-Gi-Oh?
I don't know why, but it seems all too common for Call of Duty cheaters to also take butt photos for OnlyFans. Angelina is no different.
Who? I thought he was gonna say Nadia for a second there.
She's a professional COD player, but you wouldn't get
Right, professional COD player, quotation marks. All right, I already know where this is going, to be honest.
guess it from her COD X account, which is filled with thirst traps. Her drift from the gaming scene could well be down to the fallout of her stint with esports team Efficiency Gaming. See, Efficiency had brought Angelina in as a temporary player in 2023 for WXC qualifiers, a women's Call of Duty tournament. Players quickly noticed that her gameplay was more than a little suspect.
I wonder why, huh?
Last minute.
Yeah, she pretty clearly tracked that guy through several walls. It seems that her gameplay remained sus throughout the event, leading to the issue being raised with Efficiency themselves. The team investigated and ultimately confirmed those cheating allegations with this post.
Wow, how a shocker and surprising. Link, duty is calling for me. Shh.
The group
Shush
completely
you.
distanced themselves from Angelina, reminding fans that she was only a fill-in for a player on mental health leave. The woman herself vehemently denied the accusations, maintaining that she was a legitimate player. Well,
I
she
don't
said
know about
that, but
that.
also bizarrely admitted to signing up for a cheat service a short time later.
Well. The cat's out of the bag, isn't it, huh?
Hey, but don't worry, guys. She swears that she was just curious and never bought any hacks. Right. And I've never used shoddy AI in my videos. These days, Angelina is still playing COD, but her gaming career is far less prevalent than her cringe nudie posts asking losers if they want to be her boyfriend.
That's sad. No.
I thought that now would be a good time to dive a little deeper into some of the software that these scumbags use.
Oh!
I've talked a lot about aimbots, hacks that automatically lock
are they
onto
gonna
enemies
talk
and
what I
allow
think they're
for
gonna talk
easy,
about?
precise eliminations. So, the very first aimbots were based around RGB settings. Put simply, they'd lock on to whatever color the player dictated, usually whatever one appears most on the heads of enemy models. Obviously, that's not ideal. There are many circumstances where that color would be reused on level architecture. So, rather than locking onto an enemy, a player could wind up aiming at a wall. The next iteration of the software would
interesting.
combine the technology with something called a content hack, which uses
Content
altered
hack?
settings. Players were able to modify graphics settings, highlighting enemies and allies in specific bright colors of their choosing. That way, not only can enemies be seen through walls, but the color aimbot can be trained on the selected color, no more shooting at bushes. Eventually, these software evolved into client hook aimbots. These are closer to the modern form your favorite streamer uses daily. Client hooks tinker with the game files directly, removing weapon recoil, making walls transparent, and of course, tracking enemy players via game memory. This form would be upgraded into graphics driver aimbots. These
Graphics
up-to-date
driver?
hacks pinpoint three-dimensional coordinates of all players at any given time, allowing the user to snap to them whenever they like. Heck, these can be programmed to target specific players, keep them in sight, and fire only when they come into unobstructed view. Wouldn't want to be too obvious, eh? And now it's time to take a look at some real-life losers using these underhanded tactics. Some cheaters are so confident, they're more than willing to rub their antics in people's faces. Call of Duty has had a hacking problem for as long as anybody can remember.
Fucking Call of Duty, it's been there since like the hacking has been there since 2019.
Publisher Activision seems completely incapable or unwilling to properly solve the issue.
Yeah, because they suck at
And their
their
anti-cheat software just ain't up to snuff. Don't believe me? Well, in January 2021, a player named Hidden NT Cloud streamed some Warzone gameplay on Twitch. Let's take a look, shall we?
Get 100 kills, I'll drop $100. No.
Whack ass money. Keep your money.
Dude, I wonder how long it's gonna take to get
That's
banned.
crazy that you can see everybody.
Honestly, bro, as soon as I get shadow banned, I'll be on a different account.
I don't think I've ever seen a more brazen hacker. Cloud laughed at viewers, claiming that he was basically untouchable. He believed Activision couldn't stop him, and that he'd keep on cheating on other accounts if they ever did catch up to him.
Hey, look, it's old DMR, it's back.
With both aimbot and wall hacks, Cloud was unbeatable. The cocky worm managed to garner
what happened?
quite
How
a
did he get caught,
sizable
though? Did he
audience
actually
for his
get
escapades,
like
leading
IP
many
ban?
angry viewers to alert Activision support. By some miracle, they actually took notice and banned the guy. But remember, Cloud wasn't worried, was he?
He
Went on to rant about how he wasn't going to stop, trying to spin his antics as some kind of weird protest. Frankly, I think he was just embarrassed.
Why?
He should be. I knew kids that acted like him in middle school, but their frontal lobes
They're
have
a bunch
since
of, they're a bunch of
developed.
losers.
Hopefully Activision pulls their finger out and actually deals with cheaters permanently going forward.
I don't think so.
Mr. Golds is another famous COD streamer who was
I
caught
remember
red-handed.
seeing this one.
At his peak, his Twitch streams boasted a
Bro, this just proves that a lot of the Twitch streamers in Call of Duty are just cheaters. I don't trust any single popular Call of Duty streamer. Not a single one of them.
respectable average of 2,000 live viewers, where he routinely bragged about how good he was at Call of Duty Warzone. But during a stream from August 2020, one of his viewers noticed something strange on his screen. Can you see what their cursor is pointing at?
The engine owning.
Have you ever seen anyone playing like me? It's like seriously.
I remember seeing this
Yep.
video.
While Mr. Golds was shamelessly bragging about how he's so good he doesn't need to cheat, he had the cheating software engine.
They're not good because you want to know something? Because this is the reason why I always judge against these guys, because there are so many inhuman reactions. I can tell literally like the difference between one from another or so, because I played console for quite a bit, and you can easily tell because they're playing on PC, right? And I've seen people play it on PC, especially on controller and everything, and it's just kind of like, wow, this is like console. This is like console level, like kind of type of aim hacks and everything.
Owning running in the back.
Especially when most of them are playing on controller and they have like no recoil whatsoever. I'm always questioning it so much or so. I'm like, it's very interesting that you have like zero recoil, especially playing on controller on PC. That's very sus.
Background. Engine Owning is an app that freely admits it sells cheat software for many games, including Call of Duty, like their aim at enemies hack, which Mr. Golds clearly had set to on in the background.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
After he was rightfully
what I said, huh?
exposed, Mr. Golds' channel received temporary suspension as Twitch's guidelines ban the streaming of cheats in any online games. That temporary suspension seems
Serves
to have
him right.
become a little less temporary. In 2025, his channel still shows as unavailable.
That's good.
But see, I'm pretty sure he was unbanned at one point. Streams charts shows his final stream as being a cryptocurrency one from 2022. Did he do something else to get banned? He can't be banned for cheating in crypto, right? That's basically the whole point. If you know anything about what's happened, let me know down in the comments. And if you have any other stories of gamers caught cheating, send them to my email at cheating@bmas.com. But to my mind, no Call of Duty streamer is a worse example for the community than Wagnificent. A longtime
What kind of
player,
freaking
Nick
name is
Wagner had
that?
quite the career. Heck, back in 2020, he was caught in the very first ban wave targeting players using the engine-owning cheat software.
That's pretty funny.
What a lineage. He was unbanned shortly afterwards, after all, with a huge number of counts affected. It was totally possible it was some mistake, right?
No, I don't think so. Once a cheater, always a cheater.
Man, the awkward silence. He doesn't even act surprised. He knows exactly what's coming.
Account permanently banned.
Bro, I just got banned.
And the kicker? The second ban occurred a little over a month later. If Activision had doubts about his cheating the first time, they must have removed them pretty quickly. In an absolutely hysterical response, the elite gamer claimed that the ban amounted to defamation and threatened to get his lawyers involved.
Right.
Oh, wait, you serious? Let me laugh even harder.
He's trying to sue them for defamation.
Naturally, no such legal action was taken.
Of course not.
In the years
because he would
since,
lose.
Wagnificent has been unbanned, shadow banned, created new accounts, and even been invited to participate in tournaments. All that after supposedly a permanent ban? Activision definitely has some explaining to do, if you ask me. But this man's illustrious career would come to an end in 2024, when he stepped away from Call of Duty. Stepped away suspiciously after another huge ban wave, that is. I think it's safe to say that he was caught yet again and just decided enough was enough.
Right.
But what's he up to these days? What would perfectly suit his skill set as a zero-talent no-hoper who had to cheat in Call of Duty? Yeah, he's a crypto bro. Congrats, Wag. Onwards and upwards.
It's crazy how they all
Maybe his
turned into
next
crypto
career
bros
move
so
will
far.
be urinal cake taste tester. Now, cheating in video games isn't a crime, but the way streamer Miss Q Gemini tried
remember
to
this
cover up
one.
her blatant cheating absolutely felt like one. This young, ambitious gamer regularly streamed herself playing the ferociously competitive.
Just letting you know, I'm gonna say this right now. If you see a girl who looks so prettied up with makeup and everything like that and is good at video games, quotation marks good at video games, 9 times out of 10 they're cheating, okay? Sorry, but like actual girl gamers don't fucking doll themselves up to play video games, okay? All right, that's all I gotta say.
Counter-Strike Global Offensive, or CSGO for short, which is an
Real
online
girl
multiplayer
gamers don't
first-person shooter
put up a
game.
ton of makeup.
However, back in 2017, she started her stream with a
Immersion
huge rant
ruined.
about how she'd
Okay,
been
buddy.
unfairly
Shut the hell up.
accused of cheating.
You know what's really sad? That sometimes, you know, because I'm female in Counter-Strike, people are like, you're cheating!
But you are.
What? Shut the fuck up!
Way to tell off those pesky trolls. But then, during a game's warm-up phase, she seemed to forget that the world could see her screen, and she brought up a cheat software menu. After hitting the load coding button, all of her rivals' ranks and locations suddenly began appearing through the walls. For those who don't play CSGO, I can tell you now, this ain't normal. It's called a wall hack, which allows players to locate their opponents through solid objects in the game's arena. Hacks like this are a sneaky way of gaining the upper hand in multiplayer shooter games, and Miss Q Gemini's viewers were quick to pick up on it. But, blissfully unaware she'd been caught, she continued to play and, even worse, lose. And it's at this point that she finally realized what she'd done, as you can see from her facial expressions.
We're trying to not be a noob.
After being caught red-handed, you'd think that this would be time to fess up, right? Well, take a listen to the cringy excuses that start falling out of her mouth.
I remember this.
Do you guys ever get that weird glitch in CSGO where it shows your rank?
That was a lie.
Jesus Christ.
Clara, give me 1 second.
Clara.
Clara. Let me just message this girl. Give me 1 second. She promised me she didn't use it on my PC. This is what happens when you let people use your PC. Can't trust them. Alright, that's nice to know.
Clara.
There's always a saying or so. If it looks too good, then it is too good. That means they're cheating. Just saying.
Clara, 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 Clara.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't Clara that we watched load the cheat code at the beginning of this game. After that, Miss Q Gemini guiltily abandoned the match, and her CSGO account was eventually slapped with an anti-cheat ban.
Of course.
But following massive backlash from the streaming community, her Twitch account also disappeared soon after, along with
Are
any
you
chance she
serious?
ever had of making it as a pro gamer. Clara has
gamer
taken
my
on a life
ass.
of her own, becoming a rather infamous meme. Anytime a gamer is caught cheating or generally playing in an unsportsmanlike manner, you're likely to find commenters blaming that damn Clara. These days, Gemini sporadically uploads to a small YouTube channel called Pookie Pie, aka Thoughty. And she's clearly trying to hide from her past, opting to use an AI profile picture. Whatever she's trying to do, people are hardly flocking to her new endeavor. With under 300 subscribers and just 8 videos, I think it's safe to say Clara has a lot to answer for. There's something so satisfying about watching a hacker get caught live on stream. Just ask Tokibi. So, what did she do?
Great, is this Valorant?
Like fish.
Of course it's Valorant.
Ooh, that's a lot. On A. Okay, Viper might be good here.
Like I said specifically, actual real girl gamers don't pretty themselves up.
Ah, they dinged him. That's so unlucky.
That's right. It wasn't Tokibi who was cheating. She wound up matched against a hacker live on stream. Though it took her a second to catch on.
Oh, NT.
I'm pretty sure the chamber's cheating.
You think so?
Yeah, he shot his first classic bullet through the mid doors without him seeing me. It hit me right on the body. I've never played someone this insane.
What if he's just like radiant? Wait, actually 18 and 1. Yeah, he's cheating.
Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, they're cheating. Vinny?
Valo, Scrab, still a
18
cheater.
and 1 in gold. No cap.
I'm like, what do you expect in
Oh,
Valorant,
no.
to be honest?
Just knows where people are.
Wait, that's why he's not afraid to flank. Wait, he's cheating. He's cheating. He has to be cheating. He's 20 and 1.
Yeah, the real Vinny Nate over here seemed to have
Oh, so
both
he's the
aimbots
cheater.
and
I
wall
see. I
hacks
thought he was
on.
doing the girl.
No one peek until they plant somewhere. I think he's
Because
gonna
he
be
said,
pushed
like,
up
you know,
somewhere.
you love to see it when, you know,
He's
when a
behind
cheater
us.
gets banned or so live on stream. That's the reason why.
He's right here. Yes! Let's go. Let's freaking go. We called it. We called it. Tell him.
I think that's
Holy
dark.
moly. Let's go. Let's go. Goodbye, Vinny.
Thankfully, Valorant anti-cheat stepped up and banned the no-hoper
Yeah,
right
but
and
you don't see her fucking doing flicks left and right. That's like literally like, you know, your normal gamer. We're talking about pro gamers, quotation marks, pro gamers.
there. Man, this dingus was hoping to just
You're
cheat
losing the
in some
subject there, Dark.
random
Get back
lobbies.
to Valorant and go back
He
to
didn't count on
Wuhan.
getting
Tell me more about the
humiliated
lore,
in front of
Mr.
a
Lore
live
Master.
audience. Valorant's Vanguard anti-cheat, while often criticized for being overly invasive, definitely seems to deal with hackers in a timely fashion. Take notes, Call of Duty. Game developers often stream games they're working on as an awesome way of interacting with the game's community. But these developers usually have special
Right, why don't you go
abilities
have fun
other
over there
players
then?
don't, which can look like cheats, as Joshua Ottenil Kriegsauer awkwardly discovered back in 2017. The technical
yeah, I
director
remember
of the
this.
battle royale game H1Z1
Still popular
decided to
today.
stream the match he was playing with his friends on Twitch. But when he blasted through a rival group of players, their reactions shocked him.
What's happening? Why are you cheating? Really, dude? You're cheating?
A dead cheating.
Wait, can you not see him?
You can't see me?
Yeah. Oh, he is.
Oh my god, am I hidden? Oh my god.
Oh, I see you.
Can you guys hear me? See me? Oh my god. I'm so sorry, guys.
Oof. Cheating like that definitely isn't a good look for a developer. Although
Hey,
it
not
seems
been
like he
playing
genuinely
Valorant.
forgotten to turn off his special
take that
cloak of
hard.
invisibility. Either that or he just really wanted to show those 12-year-olds who was boss. It seems easy to cheat in an online game, but somehow losers manage to do it during real-life events, too.
Wait,
The Pokemon trading card game is a massive phenomenon. I'm sure you've seen all those cringe videos of grown men fighting for cards.
The scalpers,
But it seems that cheating at their official tournaments is
What?
just
There's
as big a
someone who
problem.
cheated at a tournament?
With valuable cards and cash prizes up for grabs, it's unsurprising some greasy freaks take their chances with cheating. Watch this greasy freak and see if you can spot what he does.
Do you do like an illegal play or something? Oh, he moved the card up to the top or whatever.
Did you catch that? He takes a look through his discard pile where all the used up cards go and sneakily takes a card out and hides it under the table. Then he subtly brought the card up and added it to his hand. What a rat. This awful act took place in the 2024 World Championships. No
Talk about,
less.
I'm not even a
commenter on
Pokemon
this
person. Get
clip
the fuck outta
pointed
here.
out that to make matters worse, the cheater is using a professor playmat. Professors are officially sanctioned Pokemon TCG judges, organizers, and demonstrators who volunteer to help the community. So either this guy is
Are
a
you
trusted
serious?
figure of the scene who betrayed that trust by being scum, or it's somebody that bought one of those exclusive mats for hundreds of dollars. I don't know which is worse. Regardless, once this clip got out, the loser, Eduardo Ruiz, was dropped by a Mexican Pokemon TCG collective called El Calabozo Coleccionables. There's no word on whether he was dropped by his team or disqualified from the
Probably.
event, but
Yeah, no,
I
he
reckon we
definitely
can
is.
safely assume that he was. A year prior, during a 2023 regional tournament in Sweden, Oliver Barnett and Lasse Puisto were selected to appear in a feature match. Now, a feature match is a live-streamed game between two well-performing players for viewers back home to enjoy.
I'm gonna control your mom in a
So
second. Shut your
obviously,
bitch ass
fans
up.
can
I wanna
expect
hear
some
from you.
high-level, intense gameplay. What they don't expect to see is players blatantly cheating. See, during this feature match, Barnett defeated an opponent's Pokemon, which allowed him to take a prize card. These cards are face down and chosen at random. Whatever the card the player picks gets added back to their hand, creating new opportunities for future plays. So, when viewers saw Barnett pick up a prize, look at it, decide he didn't want it, and then choose the other one, they were ticked. But incredibly, judges didn't care that he cheated. 0 consequences came for Barnett.
Wait, what?
He never even made a statement about the situation. Hell, it seems more and more like a cover-up. The stream that showed the match has since been deleted. I can't even find out whether Barnett won the match or not. And believe me, I've tried. If any of you saw the match and know how it ended, please let me know in the comments. Or if you have more stories suitable for this video, email me at cheating@beamazed.com.
That's interesting.
But it's not just Pokemon TCG that suffers cheaters.
Yeah, of course, we saw the video for the Yu-Gi-Oh one.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Has to put up with them as well. Perhaps most
Yeah, we
infamous
saw-
was the 2024
Is it-
Yu-Gi-Oh! Championship in Las Vegas. The
Whoa.
entire event seemed to be a hotbed for scum and villainy.
Whoa.
No, it's
that's
not
crazy.
uncommon to misplay in Yu-Gi-Oh! And accidentally cheat. It's a super complex game. But this? Now let me break it down. A top player,
didn't expect it to
Oscar,
be-
summons
it'd be
his monster
popular.
in Zone 5.
It'd be this
the
popular
one
for
on the
cheating
end.
in general.
The bottom player, Michelle, picks up the card to read it, which is fine, but he puts it
Wait. They do like championship tournaments in the U.S. I thought it'd be like some. I don't know. I was expecting somewhere else, to be honest.
back in a different monster zone, number 4. Why does that matter?
Because
then
of the link
Michelle
summon.
then summons relinquished anima in the extra
That's
monster
why.
zone. It can snatch Oscar's monster. See, anima can only grab monsters it
In
is
front.
directly in front of.
Of course.
And it can only be summoned in the extra monster zone. So, by misplacing Oscar's card in that exact spot, he was giving himself a huge advantage.
Interesting.
Oscar quickly realized that Michelle illegally
I'ma
moved
fix
the
your mom.
monsters,
Shut up,
and the
bitch.
judges ordered it moved back. Everybody makes mistakes, though, right? Sure, but this guy then went on to do the exact same thing in the third game of the match. Again, the cheat was quickly corrected, but dude, seriously? Not only are you being streamed live, but you've already been caught for this once. Michelle, how does it feel that the whole world knows how much you stink? But it's not just physical card games that suffer. Oh no, digital ones
card
too.
games?
Hearthstone is an incredibly popular digital strategy card game which has close to 24 million active players around the world.
Why don't you control your people?
And unlike a regular game of cards, you can't cheat by sneaking cards out of your discard pile or misplacing your opponent's monster. But back in 2015, during the Hearthstone Pinnacle 2 tournament, pro player Rafael Hosty Santilli found a way around this. As part of the professional esports team Archon, Hosty was one of just 6 players invited to compete in the tournament, which had a prize pool of $5,000. His match with Team Nylum's Adrian life coach Coy was live streamed for all the world to see. But partway through, viewers suddenly noticed something strange in Hosty's background.
He's gonna save Wrath? Wow.
Whoa.
That's a bit surprising to me.
That's surprising to me too.
Embarrassingly, Hosty's setup was being reflected in the picture frame behind him, showing he was looking at 2 separate monitors. And one of them had the tournament live stream on it, meaning Hosty had full view of Life Coach's hand. This is what's known as stream sniping.
Stream sniping.
And it's the digital version of peeking at your opponent's cards. Allegations immediately flooded the internet, and in a matter of hours, Team Archon dropped Hosty from the roster like a hot, cheating potato.
You like to say shit to me, I can say
Hosty
shit to
later
you back.
admitted to having the stream up on the second monitor, but argued that because the stream was on a 10-minute delay, it didn't help him gain an advantage. Considering he lost to Life Coach, and that kind of adds up. But if Hosty was really trying to cheat, this was a hilariously terrible attempt. Now, we've heard some rather fishy stories today, but this one takes the cake. A Japanese content creator named Mute Kimaru had an idea. See, lots of people stream video games online, but what if someone had their pet fish stream games online? Mute.
Are you telling me that this guy cheated with the goldfish or the fish itself?
Kimaru set up a video feed of his fish tank using motion tracking software to translate their movements into button inputs. If the fish entered a section of the tank, his console would register the appropriate button presses. And the fish became pretty well known online, managing to complete Pokemon Sapphire in its entirety. And even found a glitch in the game that had remained undiscovered for 18 years. With this setup established, the next game Mute Kimaru had in mind was Pokemon Violet. So the mastermind booted up the game on his Nintendo Switch, set up the live stream, and left them to it, like always. Would the guild gamers be able to complete the game? No, but it wasn't really their fault. Anybody that's played Pokemon Violet or Scarlet is painfully aware of how buggy, broken, and poorly made the games are.
Yes.
So, surprise, surprise, the attempt came to an end when the game crashed abruptly. But the stream continued. The fish carried on swimming, now freed from the confines of the game, and viewers watched in hysterics as the fish ran rampant across the console, exploring the homepage, and even changing his Switch account name to Ro-wa-wa-wa-wa-wa. But it got worse. We've covered countless cheaters and frauds in this series, but never anything like this. Live on stream, the fish navigated to the eShop and successfully purchased 500 yen of store credit, about $3.40. Yeah, that's right. The fish committed credit card fraud live on stream via Nintendo console. And what's more, when the fish made the incriminating purchase, it just so happened to flash Mute Kimaru's card details to the
Oh my whoa. Dude, that fucking sucks, dude. That sucks.
World.
Oh, DD, oh, what it is? Oh, DD.
Thankfully, Nintendo granted a refund to our hero after he explained that the purchase had actually been made by his pet fish. Imagine getting that support ticket.
Dude, just imagine, dude, your fish docks your fucking credit card, dude. That's a wild story. That's literally that's a wild story to tell your friends.
You're blaming the fish.
Like Fortnite, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, or PUBG
Ooh,
for
PUBG,
short, is a
holy
battle
cow.
royale style game that has a huge problem with hackers. Since it was released in 2017, most of the cheats used in this game revolve around improving a player's accuracy or speed. But there's one cheat that's so
Cold turtle
hilariously
dogs
dumb,
will happen?
even
No,
famous
that will
streamer
never
Michael
happen.
Shroud Jicek simply couldn't resist getting involved with it. With more than 9
gonna
million
let your
followers
mom
on
play with my
Twitch, this
turtle?
professional streamer racks up tens of thousands of views per stream. And this meant there were plenty of witnesses when he joined in with the hijinks of this group of hackers back in 2018.
He's busy. I'm busy. What the hell?
Now, just like in the real world, cars in
Man, that
PUBG
dog
aren't
hadn't
meant
even
to
sit
fly
still for
like
a
that,
second, to be
but
honest.
Shroud couldn't resist the offer of a free ride.
Shit, can you take me to
Yeah.
the zone real quick?
Yeah. I actually sell these cheats for.
Wait, don't say.
Unfortunately, after this, Shroud hit a dead end. Like Fortnite, PUBG has a very strict no-cheating policy that it enforces indiscriminately, and the ban hammer came down on Shroud's account for a whole month.
Really?
He later apologized and admitted he knew what he was doing, but that he just wanted to have a little fun. I mean,
Really? I did not know about that. Damn.
it's hard to blame him. After all, if someone offered you the chance to ride in a flying car, it'd be pretty hard to turn down, right? And while some people out there may claim it, there's never been any proof that Shroud uses cheats himself. I guess he really is just that good. Some fake speedrunners are in it for clout, but others aren't.
It would be crazy to see if that actually happened, though, right? Allegedly, right? Imagine if that actually happened. He got exposed for cheating or so. That means everyone would be questioning like every FPS streamer at the end of the day. So
Content with just that. Jadiwi is a Pokemon speedrunner who
Jadiwi?
emerged on the scene in 2023. He started out simply posting screenshots of his time in various games on social media. They were good, but not records. However, the times he posted got shorter and shorter over just a few weeks. He quickly began posting times that require incredible luck and pinpoint precise play. Next, he started streaming his record attempts in the different Pokemon games. He ultimately streamed an attempt of Pokemon Red, where he completed the game in an astounding 1 hour, 43 minutes, and 52 seconds,
goddamn.
a new world record. But eyebrows were still raised, and another
Really got
record
hum is
holder,
a guy
Wave
uses
Warrior,
aimbot.
asked Jadiwi to
There was a
reset his
questionable
game
thing or
after
so
the
in one
run
of
was
his VODs
finished.
and no one was talking
Jadiwi
about
simply
it.
ended the stream and later commented he didn't see the request and lamented how he was now sus. But why did Wave want him to reset on stream? Well, it had proved that he was playing the game live and wasn't simply showing a pre-made video made up of spliced clips. So, given how suspicious it seemed, a full investigation was launched into
I
Jadiwi
think I've saw this one
and his
before,
many
like this
Pokemon
specific
speedruns.
technique.
It was eventually found that Jadiwi had absolutely spliced his runs together. Clips were taken from various attempts and edited together to make the perfect run, then streamed as though it was a live attempt. Those screenshots of times he posted before his records weren't actual results, just a story arc to make his progression seem believable. But, like I alluded to earlier, he wasn't just doing this for clout. See, in the speedrunning community, people will occasionally put out bounties, community challenges that have cash prizes for completion. Jadiwi had contacted bounty posters privately to inquire about the logistics of claiming the rewards. He was after the dough the whole time. In fact, if he hadn't been found out, he would have claimed over $8,000 in prize money.
Jesus.
But before the investigative report could even be posted, Jadiwi confessed. He claimed that he hated cheaters too, was very sorry, and never cared about the money. Sure, whatever you say, buddy.
Right.
Riolu is probably the single most infamous speedrunner in gaming. His game of choice
I don't know any
is
of these speedrunners, 'cause
Trackmania,
I don't really keep
and at
track
one
of,
point,
like,
he was the best of the
speedrunning
best.
stuff.
In fact, Riolu held a whole heap of world record times. Notice I used the past tense there. You see, back in 2021, community member Donadingo released a tool that allowed users to analyze Trackmania speedruns. Specifically, It added an overlay showing the controller inputs of players as they raced. Overnight, swaths of record holders were found to be illegitimate. But how? Well, their inputs were fast. Impossibly fast. Essentially, they'd used cheats to play the game in slow motion and sped the footage back up to post it to make it look like normal. With all that extra time to react in slow motion, it was easy peasy to get those crazy records. The only side effect was that their controller inputs were sped up too, and yes, Riolo himself was caught out. Trackmania's golden child was suddenly its greatest villain. Literally thousands of records had been set by the guy over years of playing, and a huge number of them had been cheated like this. His records were wiped, and Riolu disappeared into the wind, ruined. But shortly after, 2 new users appeared out of nowhere and started setting brand new records. 92 Bob and Eddie I were immediately shady. They used rare in-game skins, the same rare controller, and logged in at the same times Riolu did. When 92 Bob was accused of being Riolu, he disappeared, and Eddie I started playing more. When Eddie was accused, well, back to Bob. But the craziest part, even without cheating, Riolu was a phenomenal player. There was never anything stopping him from apologizing, starting from scratch, and rehabilitating his image. He was good. He was more than capable of achieving legit world record times, but no, that would require self-reflection. Maybe he just enjoyed being hated. With over 100 million monthly players, League of Legends is one of the largest online...
Of course it's League of Legends. Of course it is. Of course it is! Where's King at?
...multiplayer games in the world. For those who don't know, it involves 2 teams battling it out to occupy and defend their half of the map. And to do this, players have to strategically attack or hide from the other team. But professional esports team Azubu Frost found an inventive way around this back in 2012. During the Season 2 World Championships, Azubu...
Holy shit, 2012? Damn, that's a time and a half, alright?
Azubu Frost faced off against Team Solo Mid. From the get-go, the match was plagued by technical issues, which caused multiple pauses. But during these pauses, members of Team Azubu Frost sneakily checked out the mini-map that was being broadcast on the huge stadium screen behind them. This allowed them to see exactly where the other team was heading and what they were playing. Team Captain Woong, in particular, looked back at the screen on a number of occasions before recklessly altering his gameplay. Azubu Frost won the round, but an investigation by League of Legends developer Riot Games later determined that Woong clearly gained an unfair advantage by looking at the screens. He also shared the information with his team, which led them to certain victory. For this unsportsmanlike behavior, Azubu Frost was fined 20% of their tournament winnings, costing them a grand total of $30,000. Ouch. Right in the wallet. With the sheer amount of cheating going on in gaming these days, it's unsurprising to see a whole slew of gamers accused of being dirty hackers. Sometimes these simply stay as accusations with no definitive proof either way. To that end, I present you with some inconclusive examples of potential villains.
Do I need to say more?
Let me know what you think of each of them down below. Ghost Marjan is a member of Atlanta-based gaming organization Ghost Gaming. As a pro player, she often streams her matches online, and viewers immediately found her gameplay to be suspect. I mean, come on. Some of those clips are just too wacky for me. I reckon she's definitely cheating. Comments on the upload these clips were featured in share the sentiment. People ain't buying this. And she's not alone. This is Careless Kitty, another streamer who has garnered a lot of attention for all the wrong reasons.
Fire sale is active. Buy station prices are adjusted.
that's not cheating, I swear to God, man. I swear to God.
Good kill. Marking the rest of that squad on your tac map. Go get hunting.
I mean, that's some dodgy gameplay, right? But for every comment pointing out her potential hacking, there's a whole load of simps glazing her. Is she really cheating? Why does her gameplay look so suspicious? Is she single? Perhaps we'll never know. Another player who's been repeatedly accused of cheating is Omit Selly. In fact, if you Google her name, the second result is a Reddit post doing exactly that. Take a look at some of her gameplay presented by Guardian TrueSight, a program that can supposedly detect hacks. The system apparently analyzes aim consistency, crosshair movement, and the areas targeted on the enemy players. TrueSight goes frame by frame in search of suspicious behavior, flagging any abnormalities it comes across. Basically, looking at the display on the left, we can see that the system is detecting low levels of entropy or randomness. It's in the red. If there was no suspicious activity to be found, this would be bright green. All human input has a degree of randomness, so this would indicate that Selly is using some sort of hack to refine aim and/or movement. If someone's aim is too smooth, too consistent, or too precise, the system will flag it, like here. However, it's worth noting that the video analyzing Selly's gameplay has since been privatized, bringing the allegations into question.
Huh, I wonder why, Wonder why that's even happening. I'm just saying.
Now, I know that the TrueSight overlay is flagging sus activity, but I'm not 100% convinced on this one. Maybe, but I am convinced that Rockma is hacking. Oh wait, hold on guys. Her YouTube bio specifically says she likes to think she's not hacking. Ah, that's fair enough then. In fact, she brings up the fact that she's absolutely super definitely not cheating all the time. On X, in YouTube titles, while streaming, is constant. He thinks the lady doth protest too much.
Right.
Oh, that's aimbot.
It's incredible how often she mentions cheating. It could be some kind of an attempt to build controversy, and by extension her brand, or...
Let me remind you this. Nadia, the best Call of Duty Warzone streamer, female streamer, said the exact same thing when she did that for her advertising. And Lord and behold, what did we find out? She was cheating when they invited her over to the Call of Duty event shit. And her gameplay was dog shit. They're all cheating.
She could really be hacking. I'm going with the latter. Even though Fortnite is one of the biggest video games in the world, it still suffers from its fair share of bugs. While exploiting these bugs is generally frowned upon, abusing them in professional matches or tournaments is obviously a dumb move. But not obvious enough for pro Fortnite player Marky Lopkouras. During the 2019 ESL Katowice Royale Fortnite tournament, which had a grand prize of $500,000, the professional Team Heretic player was reduced to 0 hit points, but thanks to a bug, he wasn't eliminated and quickly discovered he could keep playing.
I remember this.
Now, he should have alerted the administrator to the error, but instead he exploited the bug and waited to be revived by his teammates. But when his teammates asked him what had happened, he did this. So it's clear he knew he'd done something wrong, but he was trying to avoid being detected. Eventually, the admin spotted what he'd done and asked him to leave. But unbelievably, Marky refused.
But give me a reason. Yeah, I need a reason.
After stalling for as long as he could, he was finally convinced to leave his terminal and was disqualified from the tournament. But this incident sparked a huge debate online. Technically, it was a glitch, so it wasn't like Marky had purposefully engineered the cheat, but being a pro player, he really should have known better than to try and exploit it.
Exactly.
Ultimately, he didn't face any kind of punishment aside from being disqualified. seems kind of lame to me, especially considering that Epic have shown their willingness to ban players for abusing bugs in the past. Sure, this example involves a bug that lets you hide under the map, but the principle is the same. Was he spared because he's a pro? Is there corruption at Epic? Do you think that judgment was fair? Let me know down in the comments.
Yeah, because like the intent is like shh, 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 because he was like hushing them to not say anything about it.
Every year, Chess.com hosts the POG Champs charity tournament.
I remember
a place for your
this
favorite
one.
influencers to battle
Is
it
this
out
the
on
one
the
that I
chess
think
field.
this is?
Or would that be chess it out on the battlefield?
From that
Huge
one
names
dude?
like Critical, Pokimane, and even Tyler One. One more obscure creator involved in the 2025
It's DrLupo, right? Whatever happened to him? Did he ever came back to making content and everything like that? I remember this one though. I definitely do remember this.
tourney was one DrLupo, a pretty standard streamer. He plays Fortnite, Fall Guys, basically whatever's popular at any given time. What he doesn't play, though, is chess. What could possibly go wrong? On April 30th, Lupo went head-to-head with Pokemon player Wolfie VGC, who was considered a much better player. See, instead of ranks, Chess.com utilizes an ELO system, with each player assigned a score based on their previous performance. The bigger the number, the better you're supposed to be. So when Lupo, with a paltry 650 ELO, faced down Wolfie's 1347, it seemed the outcome would be obvious. With such a huge difference in ELO, and given that Wolfie had been on a roll in the tournament so far, fans were certain that Lupo was going to lose. And to begin with, that seemed to be exactly what was happening. He lost his queen early on in the game, and for those unaware, the queen is pretty important. But suddenly, as if some kind of switch had been flipped, Lupo began playing like a world champion. He made 26 significantly perfect moves in a row, pushing Wolfie right back into a corner and ultimately beating him despite the odds. But even though he made so many perfect moves, he made a few seemingly stupid errors. Fans were immediately suspicious. How did Lupo not see any of the opportunities to take Wolfie's vulnerable queen, but also somehow pull off a rook lift, a super high-level maneuver that I'd never even heard of? I'm sure you know how. Bro was cheating. He stood accused by viewers of using a chess engine, a computer program designed to analyze current game states and pump out those perfect moves. He really did flick a switch, only it was to turn on his cheats. Of course, Lupo denied these accusations outright.
People coming in saying that you cheated against the wolf guy, okay? I got another guy on YouTube as well saying I cheated. What I missed, who called Lupo a cheater? Probably Wolfie's chat. He said I looked at my left side every time before making a move. The impulse of looking at chat. Okay, dude. I don't know, man. Hey, Chess Kryptonite on the YouTube side.
I just don't understand why you need to cheat in a chess game when it's just a fun tournament game. I'm just saying.
Listen, man. If you want, you can watch back through. That's fine, dude. People are saying he's looking at his left monitor. I naturally just here. I can even hit the button for you. This is what my monitors look like, dude. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I beat your boy.
Right. Well, whatever you say, buddy. Doubling down, Lupo even recorded a call with Wolfie himself to try to evade suspicion.
But I think this is probably why people are...
Yeah. No, I saw that too.
I have no idea if it's true for what it's worth. Like,
I did 26 in a row. I was talking out on stream. Like I didn't have chat up, and I can show, like, I don't know if you probably don't have my stream up right now. But this window right here is where chat is. But I minimized those when we were playing, and instinctively I just look at that monitor because that's where chat always is all the time. And so it's like, yeah, that was the one game that happened.
He acknowledges somehow making 26 perfect moves in a row. He also acknowledges continually looking down at his second monitor before claiming that there was nothing to it. Now, I don't care how used to reading chat you are, nobody would stare at a blank screen like that. Later that day, Lupo tweeted that he was dropping out of the tournament to help maintain competitive integrity. He claimed that, actually, he had watched the main PogChamp stream on his second monitor, allowing him to gain extra info on his competitors. So he lied? Wow. Well, at least he came clean though, right? And dropping out sure was noble.
No.
Then, not even 30 minutes later, chess.com themselves tweeted that Lupo had actually been disqualified for his cheating. He didn't step down gracefully. What's more, he didn't even tell the truth about how he cheated. The next day, he came on X confirming that yes, he did use an engine to cheat, and yes, he did lie to Wolfie on stream.
What ended up happening, I betrayed the trust of the chess community. I betrayed the trust of my chat, and I lied directly to Wolf. And so if for some reason you see this, I'm sorry. I got caught in a fight or flight moment and panicked.
What a piece of work. The best part, he blamed the whole misdeed on his mental health and claimed that he was starting therapy. My brother.
Yeah, he used the excuse of like it's you know, I have mental illness, you know. So I'm telling you, man, that Western side or so, when it comes to that stupid bullshit excuse, fucking pisses me off all the damn time.
You cheated in virtual charity chess and it sent you to therapy. You're a moist towelette of a man. And on that note, I've had it with the cheating scumbags for one day. Got any other examples
cool,
I totally missed? Why not shoot them over to
That was a good video, actually. I remember some of these. I remember some of these ones. Some of the other ones I didn't know about it because they were more older. So yeah. Mental illness of cheating? Yes. I'm taking a break, chat, you know, for my mental health. I need to take some therapy, you know, even though I cheated and everything like that. My question is Dr. Lupo even doing stuff to this day? Yeah, he's still streaming. He's still like streams and like, you know, still playing video games and everything. Oof. But definitely not getting a lot of views though, I'm gonna be honest with you. Yikes. Vod, he let Co get away with cheating. Your mom got away with cheating. Anyways, that was a pretty good video, to be honest. Very good video. I enjoyed that. That was fun. It was kind of fun to look at, like, you know, the past cheaters from the past or so who were cheating and everything. So that wasn't too bad.